Anybody know Jimmy the Cricket?
Yep.
Yeah.
Who's Jimmy the Cricket?
Cricket cartoon on Dickies.
He said, Jimmy the Cricket says, I'm no fool, no sirree. I'm going to live to 103. You remember that? Whenever you would. I was young when old Jimmy the Cricket come along, but he's on my mind there a little bit this morning. He said he wasn't a fool. And when I was a boy, I was taught not to call nobody a fool. Y'all probably were too. Don't call nobody a fool. I mean, you're in danger of hellfire and all these things if you call somebody a fool. But Jesus himself, I know of 5 times that he called people fools. Now, if Jesus can call somebody a fool, can you call somebody a fool if you see somebody doing foolish things? Well, the Bible says you're a fool. If you call somebody a fool, you're in danger of hellfire. Now, but I want to look, though, Jesus did, I want to look at about 4 or 5 places that Jesus called people a fool. What is a fool? Somebody tell me what a fool is.
Somebody that acts foolishly. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. She said someone that acts foolishly.
All
They
right,
know better and
somebody,
they do it anyway.
that's a good answer, Sister Teresa. Well, I got one who shows himself by the words or action as defiant of judgment or stupid. Now, I didn't want to say the stupid one, but basically a fool is stupid in a lot of ways. So Jesus mentioned about 5 times. I want to look, first of all, about a careless fool. Turn to Matthew chapter 7. Matthew chapter 7. And Sister Christy, will you read Matthew 7, 24 through 27?
Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. And every one that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it.
All right. Here's the picture of where somebody built his house on the sand, and here's one that they both, storms come in both of them. The other one built it on solid rock. What is that rock? In a spiritual way. Jesus Christ. Jesus, you build your house upon the rock, which is Christ. And then the other one says that he built his house upon the sand. Now both of them, the rains come on both of them. The storms of life come on both of them if you picture it illustrated in a natural way. But in a spiritual way, it's the same way. You got to build your life on Jesus Christ spiritually. Build it upon the rock. He says over in Corinthians that he is that rock. So you'd have a firm foundation if you build your life on Jesus, the rock. Now, the Bible tells us clearly, and we mentioned it many times over in John, 1 John 2:15, that it says, love not the world and the things in the world, love the Father is not in you. All right? If you build upon the world, that's going to be the sandy part. It will crumble. It will crash. It will be destroyed when the storm of life comes. Now, all of us have storms in life. Because you're a Christian and because you're not a fool, doesn't mean that things aren't going to come in your life. But if you just stay with the rock, you'll weather the storm of life. You just stay with it. At a camp, I saw this, a preacher built one. I mentioned it before about a little house, and he built one, and he put it upon the sand. He took a water hose and washed the sand away, and what happened to it? It went down, failed. That's the way it is. So we need to build our life upon the rock, which is Jesus Christ himself. And that's all over in Matthew 7, 23, 24 through there. Now, that was being a careless fool. What about a hypocritical fool? What's a hypocrite?
Tend to be something you're not.
And also you do say one thing but do another.
Okay,
Don't do what you say.
you're lying, in other words. Don't dust. You're hypocritical. Turn to Matthew 23. So David, how about read Matthew 23, 5 and 6, and then go and we'll discuss the 17th verse there and the 19th.
But all their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge their borders of their garments. They love the uppermost rooms at feast and the chief seats of the synagogue. The greetings in their markets, and to be called of men, Rabbi, Rabbi.
Read verse 19 now. 17, 18, and 19. Jesus said they were fools.
Verse 17, ye fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gold or the temple that sanctifieth the gold?
Were they hypocritical fools?
Yeah.
They wanted to sit in a high seat and they wanted to do all these things, and Jesus tells them in verse 19, he says, you're a fool. You're a fool. Over in Matthew chapter 6, verse 1, it teaches us this, and it says they want to be seen of men. These hypocrites want to be seen of men. But it tells you the same thing over here in Matthew chapter 6. It says, take heed that you do not your alms before men to be seen of them. We like to be seen, don't we? Especially when we do something, good, we think good. We want to be seen of men and patted on the back a little bit. But God calls them a fool. Fool. He told me, he said, take heed, that means beware that you do not your alms before men to be seen of them, otherwise you have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. Therefore, he tells us now, he says, when thou doest these alms, do not sound a trumpet. What does it mean by don't sound a trumpet? Don't blow your horn where everybody can hear the horn and get attention where you're at. But don't blow your trumpet, sound the trumpet before these the hypocrites, that's what we're talking about, hypocrites, do in the synagogue, in the streets, that they may have glory of men. They have their reward. What is their reward? What they were doing there. But all this is talking about Matthew 5, 6, and 7, and all through here, talking about what? The kingdom of heaven. Jesus is telling us and giving us these parables and illustrations how to enter the kingdom of heaven. And we all know what the kingdom of heaven is. You got different levels of the kingdom, don't you? I think this is my thought. Whenever he tells us over in Corinthians that Paul says, I knew a man above 14 years ago, whether in body or out of body, God knoweth, such as called up into a what? Third heaven. Well, are there at least two more heavens? To be a third one, there has to be. Okay? So in my opinion on reading this, and you may disagree or agree until I see something different, I feel like that you can have different degrees in the kingdom. The Bible tells us that you can be called great in the kingdom, or you can be called what? Least in the kingdom. The great is a large amount. Least. Now, you can be going in the kingdom and get on one of these levels. You can be coming out of the kingdom, left from great. But it's all according to what you do while you live in that. Let's just talk about, I'm getting off the subject, but the main point is this is talking about the kingdom, not eternally. So you can be a hypocritical fool and do things to be seen of men. Now, what about a sleeping fool? Anybody know any sleeping fools in the Bible? Turn to Matthew chapter 25. Anybody want to say anything about all these different kind of fools? Jesus said they were fools. Now, in Matthew chapter 25, Jane, how about reading go to verse 5 and start with it. Verse 6. Read the first 6 verses.
Okay. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him.
Okay. These were, how many were there to start with? 10. In Matthew chapter 25 it says the kingdom of heaven is like the 10 virgins which took their lamps and went to meet the bridegroom. Who's the bridegroom? In this parable of Jesus. All right. All 10 of them had oil, didn't they? Did they all have oil? They took their oil with them. All 10. Now, they all slumbered and slept. So it's still on the same plane, aren't they? They all had oil. They all,
They all had lamps.
it says all of them took their lamps.
Yeah, lamps.
Lamps before oil.
Oh, I thought we were
And-
going to light
And
up.
all, that's right. I'm trying to get to the point where their oil run out on 5 of them. Well, all of them. But the other one was prepared to have more oil. And that oil represents what? In the spiritual way. The light. God is the light. It also represents the kingdom itself, is the spiritual light. So you got 5 that had oil and 5 that had oil here, but all their oil was burned out. The other one was prepared and had more oil. And what did the one that say that had no oil no more? Give me yours. Is that the way we are sometimes? Yeah, I watch kids have suppers, and they have one here and have another one in their hand. The other one want one. They won't give up that one, was it? And that's the way those virgins were. They didn't want to give up their oil. They had worked hard and prepared and all these things to enter the kingdom, and now here they are. 5 of them made a very foolish thing. He was not ready or prepared. So now you have a different sleeping fool. He had slept and he didn't prepare and he didn't enter the kingdom. As far as I know, I would say he didn't. Another one now is a materialistic fool. Now, how did Jesus call somebody a materialistic fool? What is a materialistic fool?
Possession.
Huh?
Possession.
Possession. Somebody's called. Turn to Luke chapter 12, and let's read verses. Start with verse 15. I'll read it. Materialistic. Luke chapter 12, he put forth the parable Jesus did, and then later in that chapter, he pretty well explained what he was going to say there. I was speaking of this. All right, verse 15, it said, and he said to them, take heed and beware of covetousness. What is covetousness, David? You said it a while ago. So,
Wanting covetousness is wanting what somebody else has got.
God. Okay, do we do that? I've seen things that I wanted that person over here had. I wanted it bad. You ever been there? And then after I got it, I didn't want it no more. You ever been there? We see things, materialistic things, and we want them. And he said, Jesus is warning them. He said to them, take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not of abundance of things which he possesses. All these things you've got, I got 2 buildings at my home full of junk. Everything in it basically needs to be thrown away. But I want to hold on to it. Why? Because I am a covetous person in many ways. I need to get rid of some of that junk. So, beware of covetous, for man's life don't consist of abundance of things which he possesses. And he said that now. He gives us a parable. He says, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentiful. He had a lot of stuff. He was very successful in life. Lord blessed him with a lot of things. He brought forth plentiful and thought within himself now. He didn't think about what God would have to say about all this. He was thinking about it within himself, saying, what should I do? Because I have no room now to bestow all my fruit. He didn't run out of room, did he? Don't bring no stuff to my house, because my house is already packed too. I'm like this man here. I can't. I tripped over a gas can the other day and hurt my hip because there was junk in there. And I fell, and I ain't over it yet. So I'm just like that man in a lot of different ways. He said, this is what I'm going to do now. I will pull down this barn, my barn, and build greater. And there we will bestow all my fruits and my goods. Now listen to what Jesus says. He said all this, but the main thing he says, I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Dine and take ease, drink, and be merry. But here's what God said in verse 20. God said to him, thou what? Fool. He called him a fool. Is it not Jesus called somebody a fool? If he's a fool, he's a fool, isn't he? I mean, he don't beat around the bush. He told that man directly in verse 20, but God said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Was he asking for telling me he wasn't going to get eternal heaven? No. He was talking about the kingdom right now and right then. So he called him a fool. Now the last one turn to Luke chapter 24. In Luke chapter 24. Here again, this was on the road to Emmaus. Two men had seen Jesus crucified and died on the cross. And Jesus told everybody that he would be coming back the third day. Didn't he? And he did come back. And here's where he come back. In Luke chapter 24. Let's see what verse we need to do.
13, 3.
Let's start reading it, Brother Dave. Wait a minute. Get in. I ain't got no 24. It's gone. It's somewhere between there and there.
It's the last chapter.
There. All right, Brother Dave. 13 verse.
Behold, two of them went that same day to the village called Emmaus, which was from Jerusalem about 80 furlongs. That's about 7.5 miles. Mm-hmm. And they talked together of all these things which had happened. And it came to pass that while they communed together and reasoned, Jesus himself drew near and went with them, but their eyes were holden that they should not know him. And he said unto them, what manner of communications are these that ye have one to another as ye walk and are sad? And one of them, whose name was Cleophas, answering said unto him, art thou only a stranger in Jerusalem, and hast thou not known the things which have come to pass there in these days? He said unto him, what things? And they said unto him concerning Jesus of Nazareth, which was a prophet, mighty in deed and word before God and all the people, and how the chief priest and our rulers delivered him to be condemned to death and have crucified him. But we trust that it had been he which should have redeemed Israel. And beside all this, today is the third day since these things were done. Yea, and the certain woman also of our company made us astonished, which were early at the sepulchre. And when they found not his body, they came saying that they had also seen a vision of angels that said that he was alive.
Well, you can talk about that, Brother David. You see the picture here? Cleopas and the other guy was walking, going to Emmaus. This third person, or another one coming toward them, made three. He come up to them, and it was Jesus himself that had come. They couldn't see Jesus. They were murmuring and complaining that Jesus didn't do what he said he was going to do. He said the third day, he's supposed to come back. He didn't come back. Well, he was right there with them all the time. Why couldn't they see him? They got to arguing and all that about what had happened. And Jesus come up on them with Cleopas, and he got mad with them and kind of rebuked them a little bit. And they went on toward Emmaus, and then the Lord opened their eyes. He said, I'm going to go eat with you, and we're going to stop and eat. And the Lord opened their eyes, and then they saw Jesus. What do you think about that? That's amazing. And what did Jesus call them? Verse 25 there. Read verse 25.
That old fools and slow of heart to believe.
But verse 25, he said, then said they unto him, O fools, slow of heart to believe all that the prophets had spoken. Was their eyes were opened, and then they saw Jesus. So all these are talking about being fools. You got the careless fool, the hypocritical fool, the sleeping fool, materialistic fool, and now these that their eyes were shut fools. So all these unbelieving fools, they was unbelievers until God opened their eyes to see those truths. A couple of verses here and we'll quit. That picked up about being fools. Can you be a slandering fool? Can you be a meddling fool? Meddling somebody else's business? Yes. Can you deceive your own self? Yeah. You can be very foolish. The deceiving fool says when a man thinks he's something and he's nothing, he deceives himself. Sometimes I think I'm really something. But when I get down to it, I'm just like that. Who was that come out to Jesus, the centurion? I'm not worthy for you to be in my house. Sometimes I think I'm really, really something when I'm nothing. And I'm brought down to the point where I'm like the centurion. I don't want to be like the foolish one. Walking sin. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but folly of fools is deceit. Fools make halt to sin, but among them righteous there is faith. And then slanderous fools. He that hideth hatred with lying lips, and he that utters slander is a fool. This is Proverbs 10:18. You take a note. So Psalms over there teaches about. Psalms says, a fool says in his heart, there is no God. No God. A fool now says in his heart, there is no God. He is definitely a fool. I call it stupid, remember? That's what it amounts to. Until, well, they may not can see him the reason why they don't see him because their eyes haven't looked. But a fool, we need to think about it and think about these fools that did not enter the kingdom because they were foolish. Jimmy Cricket says, I'm no fool, no sirree. That's where we ought to be. We ought to be like Jimmy the Cricket saying, I ain't going to be a fool. But there's a time in Corinthians where it says, if you're going to be a fool for Christ. And think about that. If you're going to be a fool now, in Corinthians, I forgot the verse. You got it? But the main point is, be mindful because Satan is wanting to make a fool out of you. Don't allow him. Flee from him, and you can't make it. And stick with God's word. Anybody got anything?